There were two Emilys. So, any Emily? Please come and help me say our prayer. Okay. Vanessa. I'm going to call on everybody, and if you fail, I will say the prayer myself. I have God's number on speed dial, so I'm sure my prayer will still stand. Welcome again to our guest of honor, Irene Umoja, Commissioner. How are you? It's been a long evening? Yeah, okay. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Okay. Emily. Swiftness. You're in charge of our prayer.
Thank you. Let's humble ourselves and we pray. Lord, we thank you so much for this moment. We thank you for everyone who is here. We pray that you guide us as we enjoy the launch and guide us as we speak to understand. In Jesus' name, I've been able to pray with thanksgiving.
Amen. You know, in my years of being an MC, a prayer is always said and includes food. So, Emily, will we call you back for the dinner? Thank you so much. Good evening once again. Are we all okay? The room feels cold. Hi. Are you okay? Okay, those who are not okay, raise your hands. I might fix it with some money or something to drink. I know our evening has started slightly late, but one of my strengths is to keep time. So this will flow very swiftly. I'm Flavia Tumsime Kabura, and for the evening, I will be your host. Really, I'm just a bridge. I'm a flow between who you're supposed to listen to into the next. So today will be powerful. So I'm wearing a BuildNet shirt. I would like to claim, Commissioner, that I am working or I have a contract with BuildNet, but mine is just love. Mine is passion. In 2021, there was a conversation between me and BuildNet. And at the time, I don't think my level of wealth building was where it is now. So I might have listened with half a mind. But years later, we sat in an office, and MD might tell that story or not. And the meeting started with MD seated on the other side and me seated on this side. By the end, we were all having pens and scribbling numbers because now we've changed. So this has been a journey. So for me to wear BuildNet today is pride, full pride, I tell you. Building wealth is for everybody. And the reason I'm happy to say that is because in this room, some people do work for BuildNet in different capacity. Others, the members of the Fourth Estate, I'm not quite sure which journalists we have here or which media houses we have here. We have those who are working, contracted on the cameras. We have everybody. We have the DJ, in fact. And you'd be surprised that if 3 years ago, I couldn't have a certain conversation with BuildNet and I can have it now, all these could buy a house or could buy a property from BuildNet. So today's conversation is for everyone. And the conversation is, every time you hear waterfront, you think views. Because for me, that's it. I hear waterfront, and that's a view. So then I look at the bottom line. What's that going to cost me? But BuildNet is decided to do something unique. That they meet you, I think it's vertically integrated business model, where you take the entire process. And that's what you're about to do. You're about to tell us how you're going to be the differentiator in this market. You have been, but how else can you raise the bar? And to give those opening remarks, please help me to welcome our MD, Dr. Ibrahim Samaganda, to welcome us and set the pace for the evening. Warmth, proper, good.
Thank you, Flavia. Our guest of honor, Miss Irene Umoja, Commissioner, Land Development and Housing Estates Management. Our dear esteemed customers, our distinguished guests, our partners from South Africa, our bank partners, our guests in your respective capacities, the media, members of the media present, ladies and gentlemen, you are most welcome to this Friday evening. And before I dive into what Flavia hit on, please allow me to thank everyone here for the time that you have spent this evening to come and join us as we launch the first of its own kind investment model. I would like to specially thank our clients who are here and who have supported us over the years. Well, I'll go into the presentation of this exciting investment model later on, but first, allow me to introduce the members, partners, strategic partners from South Africa who have been working on these hotel apartments, to which I'll make reference in this investment model later on. So I will begin, like in construction, we begin by conceptualizing the ideas, turn the ideas into design, add the engineering component into that, and then execute. So I'll accordingly introduce our strategic partners from South Africa in that order as well. So we have Thomas Wilton, a seasoned architect and a lead consultant on this project. Maybe I think I'll ask him to just stand up a little bit. He's a lead consultant and has dedicated a lot of time on this project since, I think, March, 6 months ago, 7 almost. Every day he's adding new ideas, refining it again and again. Francisco is also an architect from South Africa and works with Thomas. We have William, a structural and civil engineer, and has been responsible for the structure and civil design of this project, and he will continue working on it. All of them are working on it, on the design and on the construction management part of it. So, William. And then, of course, we have Dawood, who has been coordinating, is part of us, and he has been coordinating this team from South Africa. He's based in Johannesburg, but he's from here. Then we have Ronald, representing the contractors who are going to execute this project. So his role is to ensure that the consultants, what they have designed, is executed to the dot in terms of the standards of the quality that is desired, and to make sure that the project is executed within the specified timelines. Each of the consultants and contractor side will have a chance to present shortly their part in terms and related to this project. Before we go to that session, I would like to take the honor to invite our guest of honor, the Commissioner for Land Development and Estates Management, Miss Irene Umoja, to come and say a word or two to us. Then we shall proceed with the presentations of our consultants in the order in which I introduced them. Irene, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much, Director. And good evening to you all. I've been introduced, but I'll introduce myself again for clarity. I am Architect Irene Umoja, Commissioner Housing Development and Estates Management in the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. I'm here on behalf of the Honorable Minister, who is not able to make it, Honorable Persis Namuganza, but she had some conflicting engagements and she had to delegate. So you have me. The good thing is that I understand the business and everything that is going to be presented. She did send her regards, and the PS also sends her regards, and she sent me with a statement, which I'll just go straight to it without wasting any further time. Okay, the Managing Director, BuildNet, investors present, financial institutions, any government officials in the House, practitioners in the construction and real estate industry, all members of the real estate fraternity, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure and honor to officiate at this event, at which we are officially launching the Waterfront Hotel Apartments in Munyonyo, a unique venture which the MD BuildNet has informed me is a one-of-a-kind investment and housing opportunity that is designed to be fully furnished, fully serviced, and fully managed with a guaranteed return on investment, which he specified as 8.5%. A good one. I do recall that in 2019, Honorable Chris Balyomunsi, the Minister of State for Housing, officiated at the groundbreaking of Najera Heights project, also by BuildNet. I also do recall the same project was launched last year by the Honorable Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Nabakova. The Waterfront Apartment and Hotel project would be yet another successful project being delivered by BuildNet. On behalf of government and on my own behalf, that is the Honorable Minister, I applaud Dr. Ibrahim Semaganda, the MD BuildNet, for your resilience, for your innovation and commitment in bridging Uganda's growing affordable housing gap. Indeed, BuildNet has emerged as a trusted, compliant company among the leading real estate development and management companies supporting the government real estate agenda. The introduction of this building in Kampala will not only change the city's skyline, but also contribute to improving living standards for the population. Ladies and gentlemen, the real estate industry is one of the cornerstones of our nation's development, and it holds tremendous significance. It breathes life into our infrastructure. It fuels economic growth. It provides livelihoods to countless individuals and families across Uganda. The industry contributes significantly to our GDP, accounting for 12% of our nation's economic prosperity. Uganda's real estate market is a vibrant and dynamic landscape with several opportunities for savvy investors like BuildNet, with positive demographic trends such as a young growing population, favorable government policies, and a stable political environment. It offers a wide range of investment opportunities across residential, commercial, and industrial asset classes. Investors can expect to to reap healthy returns on their investment, just like BuildNet has discovered. Distinguished guests, as you might be aware, investment in housing and the real estate industry has come under close scrutiny over the past few months following a petition made to the Inspector General of Government by aggrieved home buyers over the substandard condominium apartments they were purchasing, raising concerns about safety and well-being of unsuspecting buyers. The Ugandan diaspora in particular, who are the main consumers of these products, were disappointed to discover that the properties they had invested in were far from what they had been promised. The buildings were found to be poorly constructed, failing to meet the basic safety standards, and offering little value for money. Investigations conducted by my ministry highlighted key challenges that require urgent redress. And these challenges included: 1, the lack of compliance and enforcement of building regulations. While government has put in place all the relevant laws, specifications, and standards to ensure safe and sounding building construction takes place, there is still a problem of compliance among players and enforcement on the part of government agencies. There was also a challenge of lack of compliance to the condominium law and regulations. Condominium ownership is a unique type of joint ownership of property, yet to be fully understood in Uganda. It brings with it unique requirements of issues related to governance, maintenance, and the management of shared spaces. It is therefore crucial that as we proceed to launch another condominium project, that all players understand and comply to the obligations under the law to ensure harmonious living. The other challenge was developers using unqualified professionals undertaking construction works leading to shoddy works. I was interested to hear more about the local architect that is on the project as required by the law. The other challenge was financial institutions not undertaking the necessary due diligence before financing a project or recommending it to buyers. The other one was lack of awareness and due diligence by home buyers. The last one, which is also a big challenge, was malpractices by some property developers. It came to light that home developers, some of them, BuildNet I don't think is among, on design, present a product to buyers that is different from the final product or the finished apartment. That they compromise building materials and specifications to cut costs. That they have misleading advertising, for example, where a buyer is given false information to entice them to sign up to a project. The other challenge was non-provision of promised services and amenities as per the sales agreement. And we were able to conduct this inspection, and these were our findings. So, ladies and gentlemen, such challenges affect public confidence in real estate products. Promoting foreign direct investment in the real estate sector is a key government strategy in supporting the country to realize national objectives. In particular, the government encourages Ugandans in the diaspora to reinvest in their home country, but most of the Ugandans who have tried to do so have been defrauded by home developers or sold unfit homes, causing great frustration. Further to this, Ugandans in the diaspora on a yearly basis invest over $1 million of their hard-earned monies in real estate. However, this is being threatened by the status quo. Distinguished guests, consumer confidence plays a pivotal role in driving real estate market activity and significantly impacts housing demand. When individuals are confident in their economic outlook, they are more likely to invest in real estate. This optimism translates into higher demand for homes, driving up property prices and encouraging new developments. On the other hand, when consumer confidence wanes, potential buyers may delay purchasing decisions, leading to a decrease in demand or decline in property values. This cyclic nature of consumer confidence and its correlation with housing demand underscores its importance in the real estate market. Ladies and gentlemen, the ministry, along with other responsible government agencies, in collaboration with all private sector players, including developers, including agents, financiers, professionals, must work together to resolve these challenges to safeguard and boost investment in the real estate industry. Government is undertaking a systematic process to address these challenges and also streamline the real estate sector to align it to international best practice. In particular, the ministry is in final stages of development of the real estate bill with the core aim of infusing high standards of professionalism and promoting consumer protection, accountability, and transparency in real estate agency and development business in Uganda. We encourage you as key stakeholders to participate actively in this process. Other key interventions being undertaken include: 1, launch of a public digital online land portal. Maybe some of you have heard of it, where members of the public can access information concerning land matters online. From anywhere you are, at your home, at your business, you can access information about your title at the click of a button for just 10,000 shillings. This portal is currently being launched across the country at the ministry zonal offices. The second intervention is finalization of the valuation law to regulate the valuation profession, which is soon to be tabled before Cabinet for approval. The third one is development of national valuation standards to streamline property rates. The standards will ensure consistency, transparency, and confidence in valuations, which are key to investment decisions, to financial reporting, and financial market stability. This is part of a wider strategic plan by government to strengthen valuation services and curtail the long outstanding problems associated with erratic land values that have culminated in too high costs of land acquisition. The fourth one is creating awareness and capacity building of the public on implementation of real estate laws, in particular condominium law and Building Control Act and physical planning and land laws. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge all industry players to commit to the highest levels of professionalism, quality, innovation, ethics, and customer satisfaction in the execution of your businesses. I urge you to comply with the laws government has put in place. This will boost public confidence in the industry. It will foster a culture of service excellence and make the investment market more attractive to investors, augmenting the building blocks to a strong, sustainable sector. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I once again, on behalf of the Minister, congratulate BuildNet on this milestone I have no doubt that this investment will be of significant benefit to Kampala, making it a better place to live, work, and do business. I thank all developers for their efforts in boosting the supply of decent housing and creating well-planned, organized living for Ugandans. I also thank the buyers for investing in these properties, and I urge you to continue investing in real estate since this is a very viable investment worldwide. We reiterate the commitment of government to build greater industry collaborations through which we can continue to transform the real estate industry for God and my country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Irene, for that very insightful communication from the minister. It's really very insightful. And I have liked the fact that it has emphasized the core items that we at BuildNet take as at the forefront. That is quality and professionalism. It is the same reason in a bid to ensure that our projects always remain ahead in terms of quality, that we decided to include, rather to partner strategically with the best-in-class architects, engineers, contractors, and project managers from based in South Africa who are here with us today. Irene mentioned that she did not hear me mention the local architect around. Yeah, sorry about that. But of course, it's implied they have been working in conjunction with a registered architect here. She's duly registered with the Architects professional body. She's called Miss Harriet Kawa, and she has been with us on other previous projects. So they have been working together. And of course, we have an approval for this project from Kampala State Council Authority, and it's a requirement that no project can be approved by the council without being scrutinized by an architect, duly registered and a professional resident in Uganda. So that was taken care of very well. So without further ado, allow me to again take you through. We are going to begin with Thomas, the architect, who has designed this project from start to date. He's a very keen and experienced architect. He doesn't allow anything to go beyond what is allowed in terms of standard and quality. I do remember, the entire team, of course, I do remember one thing. I think during the initial stages of the design, we had only included one fire escape in this building. And it seemed okay to us, and we consulted with council, and I think council had said, yes, it can be approved. I think they thought they approved, and they said that one fire escape would be enough. This is an 8-floor marvel. So in as much as council had preliminarily told us that it would be okay to go with the one fire escape, Thomas and his team, engineers, the fire mechanical electrical engineers who are working on this project also, who are not here today, I think was it Zelda or Chris? Chris strongly insisted that as per the standard and requirements, this project should have 2 fire escapes. He even went ahead to research on our law here. And indeed, when he sent us back, he proved to us that any building beyond 6 levels requires 2 fire escapes. So we had to comply with that. He had to redesign. Took us about another 1 month, but we had to comply to the standards that they know should be the ones to be abided by. So that is how keen they are. So Thomas will begin the presentation, followed by William, and then the contractor, who is Ronald. Thomas, most welcome.
As Thomas comes, I think you also neglected to mention to our guest of honor that the word is benchmark. I think even there's been a team out of the ministry, was it last year, that went to South Africa to benchmark on the good that they're doing in real estate. So we're also benchmarking from the best in the business.
Thank
Thomas,
you very much, Flavia, for
I
that.
will be here. I will note those things. And the fourth estate and anybody who might have questions, we'll do this at the end of all the presentations.
Oh.
Yes, go on.
Yes, so the IT person will have to put Thomas's presentation on the screen as he does so. Thank you.
Good evening, esteemed guests. I'm thrilled to be able to share in this event with you this evening. As you know, my name is Thomas. I'm the director of Thomas W. Interior Architects, and I'm here with my partner Franco and Will. Firstly, I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Sekhananda and the BuildNet team for affording us this incredible opportunity to work together to create something really special. Our intentions and developments over the last few months have been most insightful with many negotiations. We look forward to working with you, your team, in developing a spectacular property portfolio unique to Uganda under the BuildNet umbrella. Our office is based in Johannesburg, South Africa. Francisco and myself started working together at one of the largest architectural firms in Johannesburg when I had hair and Franco was not so grey. That was 25 years ago. We have been fortunate to work on some of the more prestigious jobs in South Africa and internationally. Oh. You can see I draw pictures for a living. Namely the OR Tambo domestic terminal, OR Tambo international upgrade, the Gautrain winning bid, the Melrose Arch precinct development, space planning, interior fit-outs, and the Protea Hotel Melrose Arch. We're involved in the Exchange Square Sandton. Can you everyone hear me? Oh, that's much better. We're involved in the Exchange Square Sandton, which was the relocation of Johannesburg Stock Exchange from the center of Joburg to Sandton. Scorpion Zinc Mine in Windhoek, and a 5,000 key hotel on the Red Sea. In 2010, during the excitement of the Soccer World Cup hosted by South Africa, we took the plunge to start Thomas W. Over the years, we have completed numerous projects, domestic, commercial, retail, and industrial, locally and internationally. New builds for student accommodation, refurbing existing buildings in Johannesburg for residential purposes. We're busy with a new retail concept development in the Netherlands, residential projects in Europe. Thomas W is the official designers for L'Oreal International for Sub-Saharan Africa, with brands Giorgio Armani, YSL, Lancome, Kiehl's, and Prada. We're a small practice with a big heart, eager for a challenge and ready to deliver. And together with BuildNet, I think we have, with the Waterfront Hotel Apartment, done it. Next slide, please. The central location and easy access to the airport and Kampala makes it the most desirable street address. The property's secluded location, set back from the main road, creates an ambience that enhances both privacy and security for guests and owners. The modern architecture enhances the guest experience through thoughtful design that balances aesthetics and practicality. Feature-like floor-to-ceiling windows, sustainable building techniques, flexible living spaces cater to comfort and luxury while promoting energy efficiency. Elements are highlighted and framed in the back and front elevations, giving the building elevation a unique look and feel whilst still being functional. Okay. A little bit closer. Sorry, guys. Okay. The lifestyle development focuses around security and well-being. direct lift access through the secured basements to the first floor concierge, where guests are directed to either the business center where meetings can take place, a restaurant facility to indulge in, and a gym to cater for the overindulging. A lap pool deck for relaxation or casual conversation in the lounge area serve as a functional area in the public space of the first floor. It's just showing the gym, the meeting rooms, and restaurant areas. You can go to the next slide, please. An integrated public space that blends function and relaxation could feature large retractable glass doors for a seamless transition between indoor and outdoor areas, using natural materials like wood, stone to create a cohesive, organic feel. Multifunctional areas such as lounges that double up as event spaces, combined with outdoor seating under pergolas, enhance usability. Adding greenery, water features, well-placed lighting and heating elements would create a relaxing atmosphere while maximizing the space for year-round enjoyment, offering a smooth inside-outside experience. Moving up into the rest of the floors are the hotel apartment rooms. The 4 room types are a makeup of a studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom units. The 8th floor is the pinnacle, made up of 3 penthouse apartments with uninterrupted views enjoyed out on the balcony. Next slide, please. The interior design focuses on creating an inviting and luxurious atmosphere with an open plan layouts that maximize views, incorporate elegant finishes. By enhancing the flow of space and using high quality materials like stone, wood, the design balances functionality and sophistication. Natural light is emphasized through large windows, making the scenery part of the decor, while neutral tones with bold accents and rich textures elevate the space. Custom furniture and thoughtful zoning of areas like the living and dining areas spaces further enhance the guest experience, creating a refined yet welcoming environment. As with consideration given to the technology and building infrastructure, an IT backbone providing Wi-Fi throughout, air-conditioned rooms, rooftop water supply, the modern architecture blends with the interior finishes, making it simple and timeless. These materials, when combined, provide a balance between functionality and elegance, reflecting the essence of the architecture while creating warm, inviting atmosphere with design longevity considered. Next slide, please. Significant effort has been dedicated to realizing the full design potential of the project, ensuring meticulous attention to detail and maximizing the use of the site. Both the professional team and BuildNet are committed to delivering what has been proposed as an exceptional level of quality. Thomas W. and the consulting engineers play a pivotal role in overseeing the build cost analysis, providing hands-on management throughout the construction phase, ensuring that any emerging challenges are swiftly addressed. The project is expected to be executed to the highest standards within the agreed time frame and budget. What we've drawn, we want built. The design challenges on this building could easily have been overwhelmed before us, were it not for our exceptional engineering team. William and his team, Chris, Derek, and Zelda, have not only met every obstacle head-on, but have done so with remarkable ingenuity and grace. Without them, we still might be debating which end of the building is up. I thank you for your time, and I'd like to hand over to William to elaborate on the stress we caused him. Thank you.
Am I able to use the handheld one by any chance? Just it's easier to look at the screen. Thank you, Tom, for that introduction. And he's definitely right about the stress that he's caused me. I think my hair is going to look like his by the end of this project. Good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We as a team are absolutely delighted to be here and share the evening and the launch with all of you. My name is William Rudling, and I'm one of the directors of the Strato Engineering Group, consulting engineers based in Johannesburg and Cape Town in South Africa. In addition to that, I will be the engineering lead on this project, seeing that it's structural based. Personally, I am a professionally registered structural engineer, but if you jump to the next slide, you'll see that obviously a project of this importance and this nature takes a lot more than just a single engineer to get it over the line. Our key team members are all professionally registered engineers. Just to run through the list, you'll probably see their faces at the next site meeting. Chris Matilovic, geotechnical water. Gabriel Shiwadzwa, civil engineer. Derek David, mechanical wet services. Johan Hubert, fire engineer. And Abdullah Jiva, electrical engineer. And he works closely with Zelda, who's been mentioned a couple of times. Very, very good team with good competency. You can jump onto the next slide, thank you. Just a bit of an overview on the presence of Strato Engineering in Africa. We have quite a widespread presence, not previously worked in Uganda, so we're extremely happy to add Uganda to the list. This is just a brief overview of some of the projects we're busy with. There's a few countries in West Africa. We're predominantly consulting there on mines, gold mines. East Africa is more the commercial spaces with Mobius Motors, Tet Retail Center, Mozambique, and now Munyonyo. And then we have a couple of mines again centrally in North Mara and Luwama, which is Zambia and Tanzania. And obviously Johannesburg is where the head office is, in addition to Cape Town. And Namibia, we're doing quite a big bulk infrastructure upgrade. So yeah, we enjoy working in Africa, and we feel that we do know the market quite well. All right, so then on to the project that we're here to discuss tonight. I've just been asked to go through, you probably don't often get some engineering insights into what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to the design. So I just want to briefly, not too technically, take you through the project. Our project is designed in a software program called ProConsumo. It's a finite element analysis program. So what it does is it meshes the structure and it tells you exactly where your stresses are, where your deflections are, where your critical points are, and if the structure essentially is working and performing as it should. So that's just a 3D view of what the structural model looks like. Take away all the fancy windows and doors and walls. That's the core of your structure. That's what's making it stand up. So that's just a picture of our design model. You can jump to the next slide. So just in terms of design, there's a couple of key considerations that went into this project specifically. It's not normal, it's not straightforward. The first one is soil conditions, which I think in the area, as a lot of you would know, is generally quite poor. So that was a big consideration. Seismicity, Uganda's got one of the biggest natural faults in Africa. So seismicity is quite a big consideration that's to be taken into account, especially on buildings from 6 levels up. It makes a big difference. Then you get, again, from 6 levels up, wind starts becoming quite a big factor, so you have to consider the sway in the building. I don't think the guys in the penthouse will be too comfortable when the building's rocking. And the last one, of course, the obvious one, is the actual weight of the structure under full occupancy and under full loading. So what we do then is once the structure is built, we basically set up a grid, and there's just a couple of points here, the overview of the structure that we have. So our superstructure, which is everything above ground level, comprises of a framed concrete beam and column system to make it rigid. We mentioned the seismicity and the wind, so numerous shear walls. You'll see those are all concrete walls. They are incorporated for stability purposes. Our foundations, again, poor soil conditions, so it was quite a technical engineering design, but in summary, what it includes is a deep excavation, a soil raft, an engineered soil raft with a heavy concrete raft on top of that to give the building its stability. The first 3 levels of the structure it's constructed of in situ concrete, again, just to give it rigidity and stability. And then the floors above that, basically from 2nd floor up, we incorporate an engineered block system. What that does is it reduces weight on the structure, helps the foundations, and it also improves the construction time. All right, you can jump to the next one. All right, so the next couple of slides is going to be pictures from the design model. They don't have to make sense, but I thought that it might just be good to give you a picture of what we see. So the first one, and very importantly, is the stress analysis. So what we do is once the loadings are put into the model, we run the model. It tells us exactly where the stress points are. The colors generally refer to where the major stresses are. If you see red, it's not good, and you know you have to go back and relook at the model. So that's our stress analysis as we have it. Yellow is almost no stressed areas, and then the orange is slightly more stressed, and those are the areas that obviously get the big reinforcement. All right, the next one is a bit of a video, not to scare you, but just to show you what we see when we run the model. So engineers are very visual. We want to see an animation, a video of what it looks like under extreme loading circumstances. So there's a little play button. It should be on your screen. There's a play button. There we go. If you click play, this is basically our loading case under worst. You can go back. Bottom corner here. So that's just a little animation of what your structure looks like under full seismic loading. And not to scare you, but the magnification is multiplied by 50. So it just gives us an indication of where the stress points would be. The structure is moving nicely in unison. So that's how we want it to function. If the one side was dipping, you would also pick that up. So just as a technical requirement, your maximum deflection on a building has to be less than the height of the building divided by 500. So we've got a 30-meter building. Your deflection has to be less than 60 millimeters. Under the worst case seismic loading, we're sitting on about 40 millimeters, so we're well within the code requirements. If we jump to the next slide, it's going to be very similar, except this one is under now the worst case wind loading. So you can get a bit of a demonstration of what the structure, obviously again magnified, looks like when you get serious wind loading on it. So again, these structures have to be properly designed, because if they're not, you can see that seismic and wind activities can have a big effect on the structure. Yeah, so basically we've taken into account every severe loading possibility, and the building can more than withstand all of these events. And I'm sure you know BuildNet, continuous routine maintenance. The structure will last admirably for generations to come. So just as a bit of a conclusion, all engineering items, I just spoke about structural now. I'm a structural engineer, but the other disciplines would cover that if they were here. But all the engineering items have been designed in accordance, firstly, with South African standards. And you mentioned earlier that we've cross-referenced all the Ugandan standards as well. So we've ticked both of those boxes. A detailed analysis has been carried out by the engineering team. And what we do on complex projects is we also get a third party, an external engineering firm, to review all of our results, just to make sure that there's another set of eyes looking at it. The engineering drawing documentation, we've got a set here. We're meeting with the council tomorrow. That's all complete, and the building's basically ready for construction. And then just in terms of the building process, supervision will be carried out by us on a regular basis, by all the discipline leads from civil all the way to electrical, just to ensure that that is a high quality build and in the end is a safe and practical and usable building. So I hope that was insightful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, William, structural engineer, civil engineer, for this insightful presentation for those areas and for the other disciplines of engineering, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, which you call wet services in SA. So it has been very insightful. So at this moment, now having heard from the design teams, their role, as I told you, is to design and also supervise. They are going to supervise, or rather manage the construction process on a regular basis. As he mentioned, they'll be flying in every now and then to make sure that the building is constructed as designed. And on a daily basis, they're going to be following on the constructions by the contractor. So at this time, allow me to call in the contractor also to have a brief about how he's going to execute the project. Thank you very much. Ronald, you're most welcome.
Okay, evening folks. Thanks for the opportunity to present to Spree Contractors. My name is Ronald Wosley. I'm 59 years old and I'm the success of a fantastic divorce. And so I thank you for your time and your patience to be here. So pretty much, I feel like I'm sort of like a best man at a wedding. I've got to introduce the actual owner of Spree. Spree Contracts was started about 34 years ago by a gentleman by the name of Mark Kruger. And I'm here to try and sell this future groom to the bridesmaids sitting in this room. So all the investors, make sure your pockets are not too well sealed. So just to jump to the next slide. So Mark Kruger basically started in the company SM Goldstein through Grinica, Concor. That's where he cut his teeth into the construction business. And you'll see when you meet him, he's completely passionate. This over here, this tie and shirt, we actually share it because the next time you'll see myself and Mark is in a hard hat, a yellow vest, some shocking shoes, and not so well groomed as the professionals here. So please, if you've got any spare ties, Mark needs one. His projects include things like the Lesotho Katsi Dam, hotels, Gauteng train project, specializing in the battery infrastructure. At this point in time, he was still working for Concor as a subcontract as a plumber, because he was originally an employee, and once he got his teeth into the game, he managed to start a plumbing business and then contracted back into Concor. So when you drive around with Mark, if you come to South Africa, his famous words are, oh, I built that, I built that, you see, I built that. So he's built half a Sandton, half a Gauteng, and now he's trying to see if he can finish off in Uganda. So bear with him. His partner, Duncan Bugatti, is a qualified plumber, and that's how they started the plumbing section. He's NHBRC approved, so back to the minister and back to our professionals. Spree is well qualified and double-check that everything gets finished as per the drawing. So they say. And then Spree Contractors was 1990 developed. Next slide. So this is just some of the projects that he's done. The Umtanda Center in Hillbrow gives you a range of the work he's done. The Bella Vista School, 4,000 square meters. Africa Tikkum is like a children's community center in Alexandra. It now currently employs over 600 people. So then you have the FAM systems, again, a different factory size, 1,500 squares, a ministry, 900 numerous homes and renovations. Some MSH internies, that's your internal offices, so you've got your drywalling, your ceilings, etc. And the latest thing that Mark started doing was getting involved into the corporate preferred supplier list. That's quite important in South Africa, where if you keep up your reputation, you land onto those lists, automatically your tenders go out to a very elite group of contractors. So McDonald's, RCL Foods, Rainbow Chicken, the City Group, and Sasol. Next slide. So just to elaborate a little bit of his achievements, with Sasol was a pilot plant infrastructure, lots of plumbing work. When McDonald's came into the country, Concor was the head contractor. They put up about 20 or 30 McDonald's. So we all know what a McDonald's looks like. You know the quality, you know how the finishes. It's very stickler, modular establishment. And Spree was basically went from plumbing to earthworks, brickwork, and there's his skill finishing 20 different branches. So again, nothing over here from Spree yet in South Africa has fallen down. Touch wood. And then you have Grinica. They built a Ceylon mushroom spawning facility. And then sort of we get into an area where as we get older, we can't push the wheelbarrow anymore. And you start having more of a role of a project manager in retirement villages, Nedcore Training Centre, Brackendale Shopping Centre. So when it comes to Mark's overall skill of taking the wonderful pictures that Tom and them design, we managed to finish the project. Next slide. This is a sort of typical, some of Mark's stuff around the Sandton. He built this, he built that. So these are your just your homes. Next slide. And this is the Mercury Centre in the Randburg, just off the waterfront. This is Lou Geffen, estate agents in Randburg, and obviously so Bella Vista School. Next slide. And this is RCL. So during the COVID, we all had our COVID issues. Esprit was one of those companies that got through and got approval to work during COVID. This is RCL Foods out in Pretoria West. So I'm just showing you the finished product, stickler to rules, hygiene, safety, etc., etc. So there's another just a demo of Esprit's work. And as I stand here, and like I said to you in the beginning, as best man for Mark, I was actually one of his victims, as in he built my house. So that's how it started on the top right, and that's the finished product. So I'm very comfortable to represent Mark Gabia and Esprit Contractors. And after COVID, I basically said to Mark, listen, what's happening? How are you doing? He built the house in 2010, and I need to sell it. And the cool thing about Esprit, after 20 odd years, chatting to him, he's the guy that built. He knows the plumbing, knows the electrical, knows the foundation. He comes back, no problem, we fixed the home up and we sold it again. So from that, I've now also stepped in and trying to help him on the Esprit side, and we're going to deliver the quality. So again, another one of his finished products. And to jump straight ahead for the doctor here, this is pretty much our program. Mark arrives on Sunday. For religious reasons, he wasn't here tonight. So he arrives. Our first job for the next 4 days is to start having a look at the area, look at the feasibility, and get the site set up, see what's practical, as South Africa is our first opportunity here in Uganda, and have a look at your supply chain. Our next thing is, from our commitment, is to have a look at how we're going to set up a Uganda Esprit over here. So we'll look in our houses, get a regular driver, get the catering going, make ourselves at home if you guys don't mind, and that's our actual plan. So the initial 3 months, you'll sort of have Mark up and down here, getting the site going. The team, Tom and William Net, will be absolutely jumping on Mark's neck every 2 minutes to make sure he's on program. And on Tuesday, we also have seen a building contractor in this area that's done a lot of work for South Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, Zambia, and he's going to also train us and give his insight on how to complete the project. And then from there, in South Africa, I'll be responsible for the virtual office there. We'll set up Zoom meetings. We'll be in contact with Uganda all the time, watching the site progress. So we assume best case scenario, if we had to sort of like start tomorrow morning, we're in for about 20, 21 months to finish. If we put a spade in the ground and Tom and them sign it off, and we put a spade on the 1st of January, we're trying to hit the 18 months mark, and we'll be completed. And the next lot that we've employed is called Project Metrics. As you can see, he's our NEC manager, so every single document, every single program is managed by these guys. They're part of the team under Esprit, and that's how we'll complete the project. So thanks for your time. I hope you have some faith in Esprit, and some of you will be working for Esprit Uganda one day. And for the investors, we hope to see you around Champagne Day when you bring your checkbooks. Thank you very much.
That's saying that the checkbooks aren't here today. They are. We have one more.
No.
Okay, great. There's supposed to be questions now. Any questions? I know the journalists in the room might want to go above and beyond what they've written. Any question? For anyone on the team? You don't want to know about seismic? Nobody? There's a hand there, so I'm going to go. Do you remember who your question is to, or it's general? General, okay, great.
No. My question is just general, but then I'm also reflecting to what you said. How do I also get involved in this kind of conversation? Because to some of us, it may look so expensive. So how do I get on the same tables with the so-called investors?
Okay, so you would like to join as what? Have I helped? So he wants to join as Okay. I guess when the MD presents, you will see how you can then join us as an investor. Because if you missed out on the brochure, did anybody want to actually answer that? Oh, there's another hand there. He wants a seat at the table. This table, there's one seat there left. And we can see the rest. It helps if we get your name.
Thank you. My name is Diano Olweny Peters. I work with UBC, the state broadcaster. I have like 2 questions to the MD. One is, how long is this project going to take place? And then what is the total cost of the project? And then I liked when the contractor was actually explaining about how the people will be benefiting. I would like to know the local content bit of it. How many people are we likely to employ while this project is taking place? Thank you.
MD, I know they're sort of pinching into your presentation. Do you want me to wait and you give your presentation and we'll rumble up the Q&A together, since some of it is touching to you? What do you think?
Thank you, Flavia. And the question is welcome. I think the best, this session, I would suggest that it's directed to
what's been presented.
Consultants, the architects, engineer, and contractor. Then those that are directed to me will come after my presentation.
So we'll keep that question for that moment. If you have questions directly on what has been presented, although a bit of that, were you asking if, for example, Esprit will be hiring local? Was that your question? Okay.
So when
there were 2 questions, yeah?
Yeah, it was the second one. The first one is the
yes,
definitely the good doctor. From our side, we've given strict instructions that we, the project, sort of like overseer and the professionalism all the time. When we're here, it's our goal now for the next 4 to 5 days is to find the local suppliers. Wherever we can create local employment, that's the objective. It's not a spree coming here with a team to build. That would be defeating the object. So I hope that helps.
All right, my name is Wadulo Makanold from Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, just as him. But touching still on local content, how far are you going to be sourcing some of the materials you're going to be using? Are all these materials going to be locally sourced, or are you going to be importing most of the material and perhaps the percentage ratio? Yes, that's still what the contractors say. Materials.
Okay.
I have, once we finished our 4 days here, we'll certainly find out, but as much local material as possible, because I think from an expense point of view, local is lacquer. So, and I think BuildNet will probably be one of the suppliers as well, and that's what we actually had to do, to find as many local as we can.
Okay. There was a round of applause for that somewhere in the back, so. Local is? Lacquer, okay. So is that it for the questions for the contractors? Okay, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, the good doctor should get back because we'd like to now, get the overview. So, Dr. Ibrahim, I think now you've got to give us your presentation. We'll hold on to that question that they had for you. And everybody else, jot down your questions. We'll be having those at the end of the MD's presentation. So, even if you have questions, give him some warmth and love.
Again, I would like to thank our guests, our customers, and everyone in the house for your time and for actively participating in this launch event. And it's really very insightful. So I'll now go direct to the presentation. Well, I know the commissioner mentioned something about BuildNet and how government has been working with BuildNet before, but I'll still give you a brief about BuildNet and our expertise. So BuildNet is one of the leading real estate development and management companies in Uganda, and have been in existence for nearly 15 years now. So over the time, we have delivered successfully over 500 apartment units. And these have been in prime areas of Nalia, Nigeria, and many others. So the project that she mentioned which was commissioned at the beginning by Honorable Bariomuns at the beginning, and then commissioned at the end by Honorable Judith Nabakova, is the Nigeria Heights, which has about 93 apartments, basement parking, supermarket, and so on. So that was about 6 to 7 million US dollars in value. And then we have had other projects in the same time interval. We have had Olive Homes, we have had Florida. All these projects in the last span of about 5 years, somewhat to about 20 million US dollars that we have successfully completed. So the concern of government about the poor quality that is being delivered by some developers is a big concern, and as one of the key players in the market, we couldn't take it for granted. The investigations about the IGG for some developers, of which BuildNet was not part, of course, made us to even think harder and see how we can really put the best on the market. So in that regard, as I mentioned earlier, we decided to have strategic partnerships with the best in class, as you have heard from themselves, architects, engineers, project managers, and contractors, so that we don't take any chance in regard to quality. So that is what we have done. And this Waterfront Hotel Apartments has been fully designed by the specialists, the best in class, and they're going to continue managing its construction. So our statistics shows that 90% of our customers purchase apartments from us and maybe from others for investment purposes. So that we picked something. So next slide, please. So we had to concentrate so much on understanding the needs, requirements, and challenges that our customers who buy apartments for investment purposes go through. So in the traditional investment model, a client or investor purchases an apartment from a developer. Now they take up all the responsibility to manage the apartment, the tenants, and so on, so as to get back their money that they have invested. Now, in so doing, they find a lot of challenges. Remember, these clients have other businesses they are doing. They have other works which they understand best. So this is another side business that they have entered into. It's not their area of expertise. So they end up being dragged into something they don't actually have to do. Their goal is to invest, get back the investment which they have put in. Now, they have been faced with the following frustrations. The return on investment on the purchased units is low, and this means that the payback period is high, is too long for their investment. I'll go into this a little bit more. I'll illustrate on the long payback period later. They go through challenges of getting tenants, usually through brokers, and you know the stress that comes with some of them. Commission, disagreement, stressful phone calls, and so on. So they have to go through challenges of managing the tenants, demanding the rent, evicting them if they're not paying, and so many others. The maintenance, repair issues is all on the clients or investors. Yet this is not something they are doing, like it's not their core. Then non-occupants, and they're still incurring maintenance costs, especially those who are bought in condominium settings. Even if your apartment is not occupied, you have to pay management fees. So these are some of the challenges that our customers or investors have been going through. Now, based on this, BuildNet has come up with a new investment model where our customers now don't have to go through. This model has been developed in order to address the frustrations that we have seen with the old or traditional model. So this model does three things. One, it makes sure that you get guaranteed returns, high returns on your investment without getting the stress that the other traditional model has. It makes sure that the obtaining occupants of your apartment is taken care of, and also it makes sure that you don't have to go into the management of the property. In other words, we give you a turnkey investment model. So you find that this time around, we are not selling you just an apartment. We are selling to you an investment, and indeed a turnkey investment, where after putting your money there, you don't have to go into the stress of getting a tenant or occupant. You don't have to go into maintenance. We take care of that. So it's a turnkey investment where you have to just sit back and just only wait for bank notifications on your account. So I would like to exemplify a little bit on the long-term payback period that I mentioned about earlier, of the tradition, which the traditional model has come up with, has been having. So let's give an example here. The traditional model, I will give an example of an apartment, a two-bedroom apartment. Say if you buy a two-bedroom apartment in places like Nalia, Nigeria, they are in the range of 300 million, 310, 320 million Uganda shillings, which is equivalent to about 85,000 US dollars. Now, such an apartment can give you rental income of about 1.5 million Uganda shillings, which is equivalent to about 400 US dollars. Now, let's calculate quickly the payback period. Payback period is the time that you take to get back your money. So, if you have invested 310 million, you are getting a monthly rent of 1.5. So, it will take you about 206 months. You divide the investment value by what you're getting monthly. So you get about 206 months. Either way, even if you use dollars, if you are investing 85,000 US dollars and you're getting monthly rental income of $400 per month, you divide 85,000 USD by 400 USD. So either way, you get about 206 months. This translates to about 17.2 years. So, but this does not take into account other factors, such as the time the apartment will not be occupied, repairs, maintenance, and so on. For example, in the other one has been so hypothetical that you are having a tenant day one up to 17 years, which is not practical. There is a time when a tenant will get away. You wait for about 3, 4, 5 months, and then you have to repair, paint, do what, replace tiles, and so on. So when you put all those factors into consideration, we can therefore logically say that you'll get back your money in 20 years or more in the traditional model. Now, I will elaborate the Buildneti's model, which gives you a shorter payback period of about 11 and a half years or less, a little later. But let's first have a close look at the Waterfront hotel apartments and what they have to offer. Then I'll explain to you and illustrate to you how the Buildneti's model offers you a shorter term payback period. So let's have a watch of the video and then we...
Welcome to Waterfront Hotel Apartments, the most sought-after investment product on the market. Located in Munyonyo, one of the most prestigious locations in Uganda. This is an investment like no other. With a guaranteed return on investment of 8.5%, Waterfront Hotel Apartments will give you incredibly high returns and hassle-free earnings. These phenomenal hotel apartments have secure basement parking and 24-hour concierge services which guarantee your comfort. This one-of-its-kind investment is designed around fully furnished, fully serviced, and fully managed hotel apartments. The units in these hotel apartments are all expertly finished in a sophisticated palette, high-end modern finishes and fittings with top-of-the-range furnishings and appliances. This 8-floor marvel comprises studios, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments with a 270-degree spectacular view of Lake Victoria. These sensational hotel apartments have an off-the-ground swimming pool, state-of-the-art residence gym, fine dining restaurant characterized by an upscale, sophisticated atmosphere, an ultra-modern waiting lounge, a business center which features soft lighting, inbuilt audio and visual capabilities, and a quiet ambience. This is luxury unmatched. This turnkey investment opportunity is designed to give you the highest value possible with guaranteed returns, moreover, passively. Now is the time to become a shareholder in a high-return hotel investment. Call us now to book this limited opportunity.
All right. So that has given us an insight of what Waterfront Hotel Apartments are about. So I will now give you a little bit of the more highlights about Waterfront Hotel Apartments. More slide. Next slide, please. So I would like to point out a few highlights, some of which we have already seen in the video. These highlights down are things that are giving advantage of this hotel apartment establishment, high performance in terms of getting more guests and giving you higher return on investment as the shareholder or as the investor. So the project is located in Munyonyo. Munyonyo is known to be one of the prestigious places or locations in Uganda. So that's a very big advantage. It has a stunning lake view, meaning that the guests will be seeing the Lake Victoria 270 degrees all around. Then it's very near the express highway. Just 1 minute drive to it. And from there you can drive about 35 minutes to the airport, Entebbe International Airport. So what does this then mean? It means that it will not only attract the local occupants or local customers as guests, but also foreigners in terms of tourists, expatriates, and so on. So because of the proximity and ease of going back to the airport. Then it is, of course, as you have seen and heard, expertly constructed and sophisticatedly finished. So to the guest or the occupant, the experience, just imagine we are in Sheraton here. One of the factors that you consider when you are booking a hotel or hotel apartment is how does it look? What is the finishing? How is the interior? How strong is it? How was it constructed? So that gives it an advantage to make sure that it will perform well. Then it is near Peak Resort Munyonyo. We all know that there are so many conferences that take place at this hotel. Expatriates, government meetings, so many. So Peak Resort Munyonyo alone cannot accommodate even half of the guests who need accommodation in that area. So all that overflow will have to come to this Waterfront Hotel Apartments. That means it talks the bottom line of the performance of the hotel. Then, of course, the amenities which you have already seen all add up to how attractive is it to the guests. So if a guest experiences all those amenities, definitely they will come back. They will also refer more to come and stay in these hotel apartments. High-end furnishings, as you have seen in the artistics and the interior design. Thomas mentioned here that he will make sure that these things come out as designed. So that talks a lot. So all these factors means that the performance of the hotel will be high. And of course, this now talks the high return we are talking about. So now let's look at the numbers. Return on investment, payback period, and capital appreciation. So we have different investment options. I like to call them investment options than purchase prices. We are not selling apartments, just apartments. We are selling to you an investment. Because in buying an apartment, you buy, find your tenant, and so on, and manage. But here, you invest, we take care of the rest, you only get your returns on your account. So, investment option 1, which consists of studio apartment, including furniture, appliances, all. Let's look at what you get. So we have a guaranteed monthly income of $700 per month. This means that you will be getting $700 every month, regardless of the performance of your unit. In the past, our clients who are here can testify. There are some seasons where you don't get tenants. You have spent 3-4 months without tenants. But this time around, BuildNet is taking up the management of this investment, and it will make sure that you get that value every month, regardless of how your apartment performs. The model here works, how it works is that your apartment, even if this month has got only 10 days occupied, there are others which have performed higher than the average. So at the end of it all, for you, you'll still get the same amount of money that I've been getting. So that's what we mean by guaranteed monthly income. So let's work out the returns. So if you're getting $700 per month, in 12 months, you'll get $8,400, as you can see. So the return on investment, or the annual yield, is obtained by dividing what you get annually by the total investment that you put in. So if you divide $8,400 per year, divide by the investment value, which is $99,000 USD, you will get 8.5%. Of course, you multiply by 100. So the return on investment is 8.5%. It means that every year you are getting back 8.5% of what you invested. Now, when you talk of payback period, this is the time it will take to get back all the money that you invested. So we can obtain this in a number of ways. The simplest is to say, in 1 year, you're getting 8.5% back. In how many years will you get 100%? So you do some mathematical proportion, and it comes to 100 over 8.5. Alternatively, you can say, in 1 year, you're getting $8,400 in 1 year. So you invested 99,000 USD. So to get the number of years you have to take to get back your money, you divide the investment value over how much you get every year. So the result will be the number of years you'll take to get back the money. So in either case, we come to about 11.5 years, approximately. This ought to come even lower due to escalations which will come after the first 3 years. So if you factor in that, then the payback period even lowers. But we can conservatively take it at 11.5. So that's not the only benefit you get. There is capital growth of your investment. Not only are you getting back the monthly income on your account, but your property is also appreciating each and every year. The estimated rate is about 6% per year. It means, for example, if you invested 99,000 USD, so after 1 year, that value increases by 6%. So, for instance, let's work out the numbers together a little bit here so we can understand this very well. So we have 99,000. If you don't mind, some of you can press with me the calculator and we do this together. It's not complicated mathematics, don't you worry. So it is 99,000 US dollars. After 1 year, it increases by 6%. So how much would it be after 1 year? Don't you worry, we're not going back to those days of calculating numbers. So simply here, we multiply this by by Madam Jacinta, one of our clients. Thank you so much. She has got it very right. So we multiply 6%. We multiply 99,000 by 6%. So what we get, let's do it, times 6%, gives us 5,940 USD. This is the increment that you'll get after 1 year. So to get how much value it will be after 1 year, we add this increment to the original value. So we add back the 99,000 USD, and it comes to 104,940 US dollars. In the second year, we do the same. We increase that new value now by 6% again. So this time was the other way of getting it quicker also is just multiplying your investment value by 106%, because the original value is 100% plus the increment, so that is 106%. Or one can say multiply by 1.06, the original value. So in the second year, we multiply this by 1.06. My calculator here is giving me 111,000 US dollars in the second year. In the third year, we do the same, and so on and so forth. So that's what we mean by capital appreciation. So your investment, in addition to you getting money every month on your account, equivalent to that, your property is also appreciating. So in about, as we shall see later here, in about 10 years, if you do what you have been doing by increasing it by 6%, then you figure by 6% like that, in 10 years, you will find that your investment value has almost doubled. So you invested 99,000 US dollars. In 10 years' time, this studio apartment will be worth twice the value at which you invested. So it will be approximately 200,000 US dollars. But in the same time, remember, we also said that in almost the same time, you have got back your money in cash. So in 10 years, you have got back all your money in cash on your account, and at the same time, the value of your property has doubled. So you have got your investment value, next slide, please, has increased by 3 times. I don't know if we are getting that mathematics well. In 10 years, you have got back your money approximately in cash. It goes to your account every month. So the money you have banked on your account monthly is equivalent to the money that you invested in 10 years approximately. In this same time, the value of your investment has also doubled. Let's use a numeric example. 99,000 US dollars. Let's take 100 for argument's sake. 100,000 US dollars. Doubling means in 10 years it will be 200,000 USD. At the same time, that's the value. If you wanted to sell this same apartment after 10 years, you have to sell it 200,000 USD. Practically, it is even a conservative version of it. So in the same time, you have been able to get back all your money in terms of cash, monthly payments of the guaranteed returns. So now you have $100,000 on your account. You have a property or an asset worth twice its original value, equal to 200,000 US dollars. So if you liquidate it, plus the money you have on your account, you have 300,000 US dollars in value. So in essence, it means that your investment the value has multiplied by 3, or it has increased by 300% in just 10 years. So this is what we are comparing with the traditional model, where you take 20 years minimum to get back your investment. And moreover, you are going through the stress tenant, collecting rent, evicting, repairing, which is not your core area of work. So all this, you achieve it stress-free. You're not doing a thing. You're just sitting back and waiting for bank notifications. We are taking care of everything. That's what we mean by hassle-free. So it's a turnkey investment without any stress. So as you know, all this is the hotel apartment, unlike the other traditional apartments, where you are having long-term stays. The return on investment is really lower. Some of our clients have been doing Airbnb. Can be able to tell this. A one-bedroom apartment, which gives you about 900,000. Let me talk Uganda shilling. About 900,000 a month. You bought it at about 180 million Uganda shilling. When you do short-term stays, instead, that same apartment could give you about 150,000 per day. Okay? Now, we shall not count all the 30 days. Let's take average 15 days occupied, 15 days not occupied. So in 15 days, 15 times 150,000 US dollars, 15 days times 150 Uganda shillings, 150,000 Uganda shillings comes to about 2.25 million compared to 900,000. So that's the same concept that we are applying here in this model. It's a short-term stay arrangement compared to the long-term stay. This kind of hotel is expected to perform even higher, but we are only guaranteeing that. If you look, we have done all the numbers, the research and all that. In Munyonyo, most of these similar are fully occupied most of the time. Speak Resort Munyonyo, for example, charges about the smallest is about 180 US dollars per day. Now, let's go back to the old previous slide, please. $700. One should not ask, how is it easy to get? Let's see. Let's look at the numbers again. So, $700. Let's take an average of 15 days. I want to demonstrate to you, to illustrate to you the practicability of this. So, $700 a month is what we guarantee to give you. Let's at an average occupancy rate of 50%, 15 days a month. Don't count the other 15. When they come, bonus. So, if we take how much do you have to charge a room or the studio for that matter? $700 divided by 15 days, 46 or 47 US dollars. Allow for other expenses, add 40%. So you need $46 per day for 15 days. But let's add other incidental costs of maintenance or of repairs and so on. So $46, which you need, increase it by 40%. The same way we increase the other 6%. Math class again. So we multiply this, we are increasing it by 40%. So we multiply it by 140% to get the new figure. The increment plus the original already incorporated in that. So this time was 140%. Let's do it together, please. 64. Yes, we are there. 64 point something dollars, right? We are saying you need $46 per day for 15 nights or days to achieve this. How did you get it? We are saying to get $700 a month, let's count half of the time in a month, 15 days. 15, so we divide $700, which you need to get. We divide it by 15 days in a month, gives us 46 point something dollars. Let's allow for other costs of maintenance, of repair, administrative at 40%. So we are adding 40% on top of the $46. Two ways of doing it: either multiply 46 by 40% first, which comes to $18.4 extra additional cost. Let's add it back to the 46. So 46 plus 18 gives us about $64. The same way you could do it the other side, the other way. So you need $64 to achieve, to make this like real achievable. Speak Resort Munyonyo charges minimum a standard room $180 per night. So with the sophisticated finishes and furnishing that our team from South Africa are vowing to achieve, do you think someone would hesitate to go and spend the night at Waterfront hotel apartments within 2 minutes difference and instead spends $180? So that's why we guarantee that we will give our investors $700 per month, rain or shine. That's what it means. Okay, so let's continue. So let's make a comparison. Someone may want to compare with other investment options. Let's look at the insurance and security bonds that we have, because that's another investment option that someone may consider. Most of these give you lower return on investment. I know of one that gives you 5.6%. Hey, Flavia is supporting me. 5.6% is their offer as compared to our 8.5%. We are comparing an apple with an apple, dollar to dollar. Yes, you can make your research. They are offering about 5.6, thereabout. We are offering 8.5% return on investment. Then, that's not the only thing. For there, when you invest there, when you put your money there, your money remains the same throughout the contract period. If you have put it there for 5 years, you have invested, say, $100,000 in those security bonds, that money will remain $100,000 for the 5 years. They only give you the monthly 5.6 interest or return on investment. So we have seen in our case that your money, your value, your investment value here instead is also appreciating at the same time. So we are beating such other options in 2 ways. One, the first one, obviously, our return on investment is much higher. Secondly, our investment in this model keeps on appreciating each and every year by a very significant figure. So if you left your money, $100,000 in those security bonds for 10 years, do you want us to do the numbers again? Yes? Okay, 5.6 example. Because we are talking about investment, numbers matter so much here. That's why I'm putting some emphasis a little bit here. You'll excuse me for that. So $100,000 in security bonds, giving you 5.6%. Let's calculate how much you are getting in a year. Times 5.6%. You can calculate together, please. So 100,000 USD times 5.6%. This is giving me $5,600. Let's take this for 10 years. So we multiply this by 10 years. We multiply 5,600 by 10 years, so times 10. So you're getting $56,000. So this is the money you can get via security bonds. 56,000 US dollars off your 100,000 US dollars invested there. In our case, in our case comparatively, if you invested 100,000 US dollars in one of the options I have shown you so far, you are bound to get 8.5% returns, translating to $8,500 in a year, translating to 85,000 US dollars in 10 years. So you have already a difference. Let's see the difference. We are already beating such option by $85,000 you have got in 10 years minus 56,000 US dollars you get the other side by 29,000 USD. That's not the only benefit. The other benefit, we said your $100,000 will have doubled. It means if you wanted to liquidate your property at that time, you would get 200,000 out of it. So theirs, it remains at 100,000. The third advantage, of course, here at any time you can choose to liquidate. There you usually have a fixed contract, say of 5 years. If you dare want to terminate it, to liquidate, to get back your money, you have something urgent you want to go into, there's some penalty that comes with that, premature withdrawal. Here, at any time, after 2-3 years, you want to go into something else, we don't have penalty. We instead have a bonus. So that's how this investment model is one of its own, and it's incomparable with all the other traditional models. Next slide, please. Of course, the second option also is the one-bedroom apartment. All these include, since we said they are fully furnished, fully serviced, fully managed, they all come with furniture, high-quality furniture, of course, and all appliances. So the second option, investment option, still gives you the same returns, 8.5%. Every month, you will be getting guaranteed $1,050 every month on your account, rain or shine. And you don't have to do a thing. So in 1 year, you'll get $12,600, hassle-free. So in about the same time, 11 years and a half, you have got back your money. Same story, doubling your capital growth has gone up, and you can now enjoy the luxury that you need in that time. In 10 years, you have got double the price, the value. So this applies to the other options that we have. So we have the studio apartment, 1 bedroom, and then 2 bedroom. Next slide. Option 3, 1 bedroom penthouse, gives you $1,200 guaranteed, $1,200 guaranteed. In a year, you get 14,400, and the same story continues. Option number 4, these are 2-bedroom options, 2-bedroom apartment options, all coming fully furnished, fully serviced, fully managed. You get 20,000 a year, 20,400 a year from such an investment. And then lastly, we have that option of 2-bedroom penthouse, although I don't want to emphasize it so much because they are all already sold. They are not available anymore. They are sold completely. So, but I will still take you through. So this one, the people, our customers or investors who bought them, they are going to be getting $1,900 per month, and a total of about $22,800 a year, getting back their money, all their money in under 10 years. And imagine their value doubling. Wow. Oh, now, the conclusion we came to is that in 10 years, you can get 3 times the value. So 269, let's just do this one, mathematics. 269,000. Let's do it together. 269,000 they invested. In 10 years, 300% value. So times 300%. My calculator is giving me 807,000 US dollars, close to $1 million in just about 10 years. So I think they saw the opportunity very quickly and they took the step. We informed some of our existing clients pre-launch, and there are those who took steps already. So we have 3 penthouses on the 8th floor and 2 penthouses of 1 bedroom. I am happy to announce that of those 5 units, we have only one unit of 1 bedroom on topmost floor. The others were already bought. 5. We started this pre-launch sale 2 weeks ago. So far, those ones are taken. So we shall talk about the others. So next slide, please. So to make it simple for our investors to enter into this, we have decided to make our payment plan for this kind of investment to 24 months for any option that one chooses. So, for example, let me illustrate with the studio apartment investment option. The investment value is 99,000 USD. Reservation is 2,500. You top up to 20% in 1 month. To make 20% means 20% of 99,000. So we do say, let me illustrate this: 99,000 times 20%, 19,800. You have already paid the 2,500 reservation deposit. Let's deduct it off. Leaves us with 17,300 as what you have to pay in about 1 month. After that 1 month, the remaining installments become more palatable. They become easier to. So the balance of 80%, which in this example is 79,200 USD, we divide it across the remaining 23 months equal installments. So when we do so, we get about $3,443 per month. So those are the installment payments that you have to be making. Our contractor and engineers and architects have mentioned that this project will be constructed and finished, handed over in 18 months to 20. In the contracts we have already signed with all those who have bought, we have said 24 months just to make it, to put an allowance. They vote that in 18 months they will deliver. We have said, let's promise 20 months. And they are held accountable by the contracts that we sign with them. So in 24 months, you are starting to earn already as well, those high returns. So that is how it works. I would like also so the co-investing option that I remember one of the guests asked about, so it's a time now to come to this. So the co-investing option makes it even simpler and a very attractive investment. In the past, in the traditional model that I explained earlier, it was rather a little hard to purchase an apartment, 2 people, for example. It was a bit, first of all, for example, who would collect the rent? It was a bit tricky. But in this investment model that we have introduced, it's an investment. You're not going to sleep there. There you could have conflicting interests. One wants to get rent, another one wants to sleep there. So co-investing was really almost a nightmare in the other traditional model. In this one, it is very simple. We are all putting this money to get money. It's an investment, it's a business. So it doesn't matter whether you invest alone, 2, 3, or even 5 people. and you still all enjoy the same high returns on investment. Let's give an example. So here, what happens, how do you divide? How do you get? It depends on the ratio in which you have contributed to this investment. If you have invested 50%, 50%, you definitely get 50%, 50% of the monthly income. In the example of the first option of the studio apartment, you would be getting $350 per month in your investment. If you divide that investment by 2, and you see, let's do it a little bit here. So 99,000 USD, let's divide it by 2. Supposing you are combining 2 people onto this investment, divide it by 2, we get 49,500 each. Let's compare by converting, let's convert it to Uganda shillings, and we compare with the traditional examples of the apartments in that range. So 49,500 times 3,700, okay, as it stands today, approximately, you get about 183 million Uganda shillings. It means that everyone will have contributed that. Now, how much are you getting? Let's see. You are saying it gives you $700 per month. So everyone has contributed 50%. You are getting 50% of the monthly returns. So 50% of $700 is $350, everyone. Let's convert it back to Uganda shillings so we can compare an apple with an apple. So $350 times $307 rate gives me here on my calculator 1.295, 1 million, almost 1.3 million per month. So we saw in the other example that if you invest in an apartment, 1 bedroom usually, 180 million will give you about 900,000 per month. Here, if you co-invest the same money in this option, you are getting about 1.3 million per month, which is nearly 50% over and above what you do get in the traditional model. So this is exactly what we mean. Now, an example here. If 5 people, for example, chose to combine efforts and they invest in a studio apartment option, what would it mean? Reservation deposit would be $500. We are dividing all the other payment plan as outlined earlier by 5 because everyone is contributing equally to that. So the reservation for 1 is 2,500. Now, if you're 5, divide that by 5. So each one will have to contribute $500 initially. The 1 month top up would then reduce to as low as $3,460. And that is the biggest chunk you could ever give out in the installment plan, the payment plan rather. So after that, just see, look at this. After that, the monthly installments, the 23 remaining months, you would only have to pay as low as $688 per month. So you can see that with as low as $600,800 thereabout, you become a shareholder in this high luxury hotel apartments. Doesn't sound so exciting? Yes. So that's how it works. So moreover here, in co-investing, you are still enjoying all the other benefits that an individual investor is also enjoying. You're getting the high return on investment, still the same, 8.5% distributed to your contribution. You're getting the appreciation capital growth of 6% of your value per year, same way, and all that we have discussed earlier. So this is how we are saying, that's what we are saying, that this investment is like no more, no other. So I am really very happy to announce before everyone here on this launch that in the pre-launch 2 weeks ago, when we had finalized everything, all the arrangements, we decided to contact some of our existing customers and a few other members before the launch. So we have so far sold 15 units out of the 49 in just under 2 weeks. I think it's really, yes. We have never achieved this kind of in any of our projects before. Pre-launch, 2 weeks only, we have made 15 sales. So we only now have the difference, 49 minus 15, that is 34. 34. So we have 34 options now available. So I will show you the availability later on after the Q&A session. Let me first allow to get any questions. Feel free to ask any question that you would like to ask as far as what I've presented is concerned. Thank you very much.
Round of applause for MD. I could tell from some of the math that there'd be a few questions, and I'm already seeing the hands up. But remember that the years are gone where you're just buying grass, empty, land. Now you're buying value at the point you're buying. So remember to please share your name as you ask your question. There's the original question. Yes. We'll give someone who already has or who hasn't spoken, then we'll come back to you.
Hello, good evening. My name is Deogratius Wamala. I write for Daily Monitor. I have a few questions here. So I like this because I report about financial markets and...
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so one of them is, you talked about the 8.5% return on investment. I wanted you to tell me about what's the current return on investment in the current real estate, in the kind of business that you do. What is the current return on investment, and is this increase a component of innovation, and how are you trying? Just I want to understand that. The other one would be you talked about the capital appreciation of 6%, but you didn't explain that bit. You talked more on the interest part. I wanted you to tell me about it. And then, is there any tax component in this whole business if I'm an investor? The other one, you talked about the liquidity. In other instruments, for instance, like securities, if you're trying to move away, there's a penalty. So how are you sure that there's no penalty in this? How is it good for you? How is it good for me and not bad for you?
Brad and team, I think kind of pick for me the questions. Would it be good to collect a number so I address them once?
The very last one. You talked about...
Would you like, be sure that you get the questions, please, accurately. Brenda, help out so that you have at least to compare. Kindly repeat the questions just very quickly so that we can pick them accurately and address them one by one. Thanks.
Right. You talked about the 8.5 return on investment. What did you tell us about the current return on investment in this business, and what propels the increment? Is it innovation, something? The other one would be the dynamics on the capital appreciation of the 6%. The other one would be the tax component, the liquidity. And then you talked about the guaranteed returns. If I'm having a guaranteed return of $700, how are you hedging yourself from any fluctuations in your revenues that are coming up? Are you investing somewhere or something like that?
Thank you very much for your questions.
There's somebody else, but Brenda, I think there was a question on, is the rest of the market also giving 8.5 or less or more? So you wanted a comparison. Okay, I don't know how to get to you. You come close.
Good evening. My name is Hakim Wampamba. I'm a village dweller. I also work with NBS TV. I report business. I love numbers. You did a pretty good job, a fantastic one.
Thank you very much.
You don't have to pay for that. I'm not charging for it. I was taking a look at the different options, the treasury bonds, among others. done the calculations. When you look at the latest auction of the treasury bonds, that a 15-year was promising a yield to maturity of about 15.8, and it had a withholding tax of 20%. That adjusted for inflation, this would be a much more better option. I don't know, I didn't know I would do PR at one point. But the question is here. the question is here. From typically tax perspective, the tax rate is 30% and the allowable expenses are capped at 70%. Is that part of my 700 cut per month? Many thanks.
You're asking if your 700 is tax deductible? Oh, okay.
Yes, once again, I'm Wadulo Mark-Arnold, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. And just like, again, Hakim said, you did a very good thing with the numbers, and I now understand why you emphasize them a lot. Being that I'm operating in the short-term rental stay, I'm also seeing that you are utilizing a short-term rental business model. Am I right? Yes. Am I right?
Yes, I'll answer.
Okay, so you're utilizing a short-term business model, and I've seen that you are using a minimum of 15, say, nights, fully booked, compensating for the possibly blank other 15 nights that you may not have. My question would go to say, first and foremost, you're basing this on a short-term stay model in Uganda, where these short terms are not yet, can I say, recognized officially by the taxman. So for me, I would ask again, like he said, who shoulders the rental income tax now? Is it the client or is it you? Will you also be using the hotel taxing system or rental income tax? And then, does the contract guarantee the profit being 700 only, or is it fluctuatable, if I can say that? And then the last one, after you make your, is the contract a lifetime contract, or is it after a specific period of time, and they are forced, if they've gotten their return on investments and a specific time of they get out? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think let me first address those ones before we proceed. Thank you for very much for the questions. Kindly forward the questions to me. I can address them well. But I'll begin with the first one, which I still have some of them in my head. He asked a question about this model is about 8.5% guaranteed returns or return on investment. What is the current old model or traditional model, right? Yes, so currently, just like I demonstrated before, in the example I gave, if you purchased an apartment at, let's go dollars so that we can compare dollars by dollar. In the example I gave of 2-bedroom apartment in Nadia, Nigeria areas would be at about 84,000 US dollars, and gives you a monthly income of $400 per month. So we can quickly together work out that. It's very simple. Return on investment equals annual returns over your investment value times 100%. So your return is $400 per month times 12. That is $4,800 per year. We divide that by 84. Let me go slowly so that maybe we can go together. So $400 per month in the first example I gave times 12 months gives you $4,800 in a year. You have invested $84,000 in that apartment. So we divide this by $84,000, and then we multiply the result by 100 to convert it to a percentage. so times 100 gives you about 5.7% annual return on investment. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, this does not take into account the other factors, repair, what. So that's what you are calculating here is $400 per month, or 1.5 million per month in Uganda shillings. Is not the net. You have to get off other costs, unlike in this model. So it means then that the return on investment is even lower than 5.7 we are getting here. So that's the answer to the first question. The second question was, okay, how do you plan to handle the fluctuations? Okay, so fluctuations, like I mentioned, we base this. There are peak seasons, there are lower seasons, of course, in this kind of business and any other business. So in the peak seasons of accommodation and short-term business, there are seasons where the facility can be 100% full, occupied. Seasons like December through to March there, Easter season, and so on and so forth. So now those seasons compensate for the low peak seasons. So on average, so you find that in some months or periods of the year, you are fully occupied. So you are getting 100%. Where we took 15 days, now you're getting 30 days at the same rate, or even higher. The prices can even go higher. Now that compensates for the times when the season is not that good. So the fluctuations in the market can be taken care of by such. Then the other question is $700 tax deductible? Now the returns that we guarantee to give to our investors is what they'll get onto their account. Okay? Less any costs involved. Now, about tax, of course, you have earned income. You will be complying with the applicable tax laws, income tax, for example, or whatever is applicable in that situation. Now that is on the side of the client. Just like you have your apartment there or any other business and you get income out of it, it doesn't mean that you're not going to pay tax. So certainly what we are giving you is now your income. Now you deal with the tax-related issues of that income. Then, who caters for the rental income or hotel-related income? Who caters for the rental income? Is this more or less the same question as the above? You have got your income on your account. For us, we have done our part to give you that money. Now, what taxes you pay off that, now that's on your side. So that's the precise answer to this question. Then the other question from Dale. He asked about the current return of interest and what propels the increment. So the current return of interest, well, that question, could you repeat this question? I think it was not captured well, I do remember. Someone could take the mic so I can answer it directly. I don't think this was accurate. Kindly take him the mic.
Yeah, I was looking at the 8.5 return on investment, and I was asking what is the current return on investment in this business right now?
That one I have addressed it already.
And what pushes this to 8.5?
What does what?
What pushes this to 8.5? The one we were talking about.
What pushes?
I was asking, you said about the 8.5 return on investment.
Sure.
So I was asking what is the current return on investment in this business?
5 point something.
Besides, because this is a new kind of business. Yes. And what pushes up
to...
yes,
okay. I've got a question now. Thank you. So, like I explained earlier in the presentation, he's asking, currently, the traditional model, which we are calling the traditional model, the long-term stay arrangement, offers about 4-5% return on investment. Our new model is offering 8.5% return on investment. He's asking what is that is making this increment from the old to the new, from 4 or 5 thereabout to 8.5. Here, as I explained, practically, the long-term stay arrangements, the traditional rentals, where you have a tenant paying you monthly rent, stay there for a year, 2, 3, 4, the return is small. But here we're talking about hotel apartments, where the rates per use, a tenant who is paying, say, 900,000 a month in a rental is paying essentially 30,000 Uganda shillings a day. Now, when you compare that rate to the rate, when you go to a hotel apartment or a hotel in general, you can hardly find a hotel which is charging 30,000 Uganda shillings a day. The rate is much higher than that. So eventually, what you are collecting in a month without that much higher rate per day translates into a higher return on investment in the new model compared with in the new short-term stay kind of arrangement compared to the long-term stay kind of arrangement traditionally. Is there any question I have not addressed as captured here? You're asking another one? The MC? Okay, it's okay, we can take it again.
Hakim Wampamba, again, please, you may just forgive us for being nagging. We're looking for different story angles to tell, yeah? So I was looking at an angle of hotel rooms in the country. Uganda currently possesses about 500,000. I don't know whether that is the accurate figure. Are we seeing any form of opportunity? Are we seeing the waterfront hotel apartments carrying some light with them into the hotel or tourism sector? And what form of light is that for we the writers? Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Oh, there's a hand from Madame there. Please take the mic to her.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. So mine is just, thank you so much for the presentation and congratulations on the launch.
Thank you so much, Madam.
Mine is what structural design and materials we use to ensure the building can withstand Uganda's, we struggle a lot with weather issues. And we've also had where some of our customers are really frustrated with projects because we find the ceilings are dropping on them, the structures are cracking. So maybe give us more light on what materials we use and how can the Ugandan be confident that these buildings are really strong and can withstand and can be convinced to take them up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Let's first address those two. Let me begin with what Madame has just asked right now. Which kind of materials are we going to use to make sure that it achieves...
Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Konsi Akiteng, and I head mortgages with Absa Bank, Uganda.
Thank you very much for the question again. So which kind of materials are we going to use to ensure that we achieve structural integrity and the building can withstand the conditions of Uganda, weather, and so on and so forth. So first, the structure, I will not, of course, the engineers technically would be in even a better position to explain this or to address this more, but I could still give you some insight on the question. So the integrity of the structure, first and foremost, depends on a number of things. The first thing they do, these professionals, they do investigations before they even start to design. They do what they call geotechnical investigations, where they dig the soil to see how strong it is, so that they can design it accordingly. We did one at Waterfront. I think, William, if I'm not mistaken, you drilled up to about 30 meters down. They drilled up to 30 meters down to investigate the strength of the soil up to that depth. And then from there, he made a recommendation, their technical analysis, and then designed according to that. Then, the expertise, the technical know-how, how they design those. He illustrated here that they have taken to, they are designing, they do analyses, different engineering analysis to see if this building as designed is subjected to these kind of forces, the wind, the what. So, and he has taken care of that in this example. Now, coming to the material part of it, the team is so vigilant in our case. The team is so vigilant about quality assurance. Quality assurance involves a lot, but material is one of them. Before a given piece of material is used in the project, it is subjected to quality control and assurance, right down from the source, pre-inspection of the supplier, who is the supplier, how producing those certificates, manufacturing certificates, and so on. Then when delivered on site, the quality assurance taken also in that. Testing, if it's, say, for example, cement or steel bars or concrete, they do cut-out tests to be sure that the results that come out of those tests conform to the quality requirements as prescribed in the standard codes of construction or building codes. So both local materials here, for example, which will be sourced locally, have to be subjected to that strictly and enforced by the technical consultants and then the contractor. And then after they have been, I mean, even the imported ones have to be subjected to the same alike. So, William, would you like to add anything on that? I covered it up. Oh, I'm becoming an engineer too. All right. So the other question, could you, Maria, do you have it? Is there any opportunity for the tourist industry, and how is it bringing light to it? What structure design? Okay. To how can a Ugandan be confident that the structure can withstand? Okay. Okay. Is there any opportunity for the tourist industry, and how is it bringing light to it in this example? So definitely, given the location of the project being Munyonyo, its closeness to the lake, having the stunning lake view, located near the Entebbe Express Highway, which takes about 35 minutes to the airport, gives more opportunities for the tourists to come, knowing very well that they will enjoy their stay within all what we have said about the waterfront hotel apartments. They can easily catch up with the airport transfers and so on, and the ambience within the area definitely. So it definitely gives light to the tourist or tourism industry. And it adds up to the number. You mentioned about the hotel rooms, number of hotel rooms in the country. definitely we are contributing to that number now and going forward with our subsequent projects. Thank you very much for your questions.
Round of applause for MD, who's done quite a good job. For those who love numbers, they've clearly appreciated, and the breakdown, and not being afraid of any question. Thank you so much, sir. I know that there'll be reservation forms.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe before that,
Please.
I wanted to show, because if there can be any reservation, we might first see what is still available. I mentioned
Exactly.
everything. So let's have the
Yes.
slide showing now the availability and all that. So we have 8 floors, and of course we have the basement, first ground, and so on, basement parking. But now the units are located starting from first floor. On first floor we have only 2 studios because first floor has the other amenities like the swimming pool. The swimming pool is not on the ground floor, it's on the first floor. The concierge, the restaurant, gym, and so on. So on first floor we have only 2 units. Then second floor up to 8th floor. Now that's where you have all the units. So we have the different types: studio, apartment, 1 bedroom, and 2 bedroom. So when you look at this chart, you can see the key here is where you have green, it's reserved, and where you have red, sold. Reserved means someone has signed our reservation form and promises to pay in the next few days to make the initial reservation deposit we mentioned about. Sold means they signed the form, they reserved, and then they paid already. So taken already. So let me start from the bottom, because that's where we have people. On the top, I mentioned that we have 5 units of penthouses, 3 being 2 bedrooms and then 2 1 bedrooms. So the penthouses, we have only 1. You see here it shows the floors, the floor number, vertically, horizontally it shows the type of the unit. So on the 8th floor, these 2, as I mentioned, were already sold. 1 bedroom was sold, 1 is reserved, and then we are remaining with 1 bedroom penthouse. Then we have on 7th floor, we have 1 sold, 1 studio. The others, white means they are still available. Red sold, green reserved, but not paid for. Then white means they are still available for reservation or selling. So this is how the statistics read. So on 8th floor, we have sold 3, 1 reserved, remaining with 1. Then we have on 7th floor, sold 1, the others are still available. In 2 weeks' time, moreover. Then we have 6th floor, that's what the statistics show. In total, we have so far, we have 15 reds and then 2 greens. So the rest are available now, but of course, some of the things may change, like the value may slightly change. So we gave our clients who did this an offer. Here at this time, and we have been selling, as you can see, all units at the same price, regardless of the level. That's one of the offers we gave to our clients in the past 2 weeks up to this day of the launch. So it means, usually, as you know, the higher you go in this case, the better for you, because you have a better view for your unit. So 8th floor, I think that explains why, of course, they have taken it first. 7th floor, you are viewing the entire, almost Kampala. On the other side, you are viewing Lake Victoria. On this other side, you are seeing the whole of Buziga and every other area very nicely, and the express highway. So, but pre-launch up to today, we have been having the prices the same, regardless of the level. But we are going to revise now a little bit so that as you go higher, there's some small increment, not so big though, maybe just $2,000 per level. It's going to be. So now, but we decided to give our client pre-launch and up to the launch date to have the same uniform price throughout, regardless of the level which you choose. So you have an opportunity today to reserve any of the units or any of the investment options you want by just simply signing the form and confirm that you have reserved that one, so that you lock in the price and any other terms that may fluctuate as we proceed. The law of demand and supply definitely will apply. The higher the demand, the higher the price. The price theory, those of you who did economics in a level. I was just looking there
Yes.
with my friends. So at this time, I would, there could be some other specific questions that you could have. I would invite, we have a team from sales marketing department who will be moving around, and you can ask them specific questions. Those who are ready, want to lock in some investment option, please do. So we have a team there going to do that as the MC communicates the next item on the agenda or of the program.
Yes.
Otherwise, thank you so much once again for attentively listening and participating to our presentation of Waterfront Hotel Apartments Monyonyo. It has been a great pleasure, and we shall still remain open to serving you and addressing any of the questions or that you may have going forward. Thank you so much. Thank you, the representative of the minister, for being part of us this evening as our guest of honor. Thank you so much. Flavia?
Right. I've already seen someone who's going to reserve a floor.
That's great.
Are you able to, can I buy out the ones in red?
Hope.
Is that what, that was your question? Okay. Her question said, if you can put back that and we buy, She said, what if I want to remove everybody in red? What's the price? I hear you. The team, please do go through. They'll be going through for anybody who wants to reserve. We're not saying don't buy. If you'd like to buy today, that's also very much allowed. But yes, the ladies are going through. And I'd like the flow of the day because I'm very wary, Commissioner. You're here, I've seen the family. And I thought it would be nice to, crown off the lunch with a cake cutting. And then we can always head into the dinner. I know it's not etiquette-wise to the dessert to go before the meal, but we can break the rules. I mean, how often do you have a guest of honor saying, I'm architect? Irene Moja. So you're not just a guest of honor, you're part of the content and you understand. So the team at Sheraton or our ladies can please help us as we can get the cake closer where we can cut it. And I think MD will guide. I know it's MD, our guest of honor, and perhaps the team from South Africa to come and join us for the cake cutting so that we can head into the next phase. Now, there'll be some gifts and packs later on, of course, as you head out for all our clients. But for now, the biggest thing is which will be yours? Which flow sounds good to you? If you're like me and my friends who were talking to Dr. and I said, for me, we just want to invest. But also, we're going to use it. So we'll be our own clients, because if you don't know that this day and age, we are content creators, and we always constantly need spaces that are well done, well lit. So me and my friends will buy the unit, rent from us, build it. So yes, this is a good day to reserve your spot at any of the numbers. The ladies will have the reservation forms and also any questions that you have to guide you. Okay. Commissioner, you'll join us. Doctor, you can please bring your team. I would like to officially make this one a mukolo. And we will regard Waterfront officially launched. Anybody else joining us for this? All right. Madame Jacinta, I wanted to show you something here. If you can join us. DJ, I'm not sure if you're still with me. You test so that I can know you're with me. Yeah. I know you might be reserving somewhere on the fourth. Oh, you're here. Okay, great. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're officially launching a start of something great, a start of a fantastic investment that is hassle-free. Hassle? Hassle? Okay, that free sounded like 3, so it's going to be on the count of 3, as Ugandan as we can be. And DJ, you stayed ready after the free, the hassle-free, yeah? So it's going to be 1, 2, and the 3 is going to be free. Who's cutting? Yeah, okay. We're officially launching Waterfront in Munyonyo with BuildNet. Get close because the pictures are also part of this. Okay. We're officially launching in 1, 2, free. Hassle-free. For you, you can reserve today the Waterfront Hotel Apartments in Munyonyo on plan for the best investment. 8.5%. Nowhere else in the market are you getting this great deal. Well done to BuildNet for always putting the customer ahead. Yes. Okay, DJ. Now I know you're awake. Wonderful. So I'm guessing the music has sort of allowed us to remember it's a Friday. Yeah? So no need to rush out. In fact, you can close the doors, Sheraton. We've got the dinner. We've got the cake. We've got the conversations. This is now the time where we warm up our minds. The calculations, even if math was hard, it's okay if your pockets are heavy. We shall do the math. For you, you just say which one. Yeah? Point, we'll do the math for you and we'll count. If you've got somebody on the phone who you think might be interested, we'll take that as well, isn't it? Yeah. So please, this is the right time to network, to answer as many questions. Our teams are ready. And they're here to make sure that this investment does not go without your name on it. Okay? Without your investment group on it. Your chama. This is the right time for all of you to invest and get something as part of the Waterfront Hotel Apartments. Sheraton, I know you're ready for our dinner. So we'll be guided slowly. The band is here. Now I'm going to really apologize because I never got the name of the band, and yet you've got beautiful voices. Sorry? Kefe.
We are Yefe Band.
Yefe. Ladies and gentlemen, if you were not here much earlier, amazing voices. So, band, were you ready for us? Yeah. Okay. You know what? They'll serenade us as we get into dinner, as the ladies move through with all the questions, and as we network. Feel free. This is now the lightest moment. We'll do the math for you. Band.
You want me in love when you start super nice out and you think you can banana. This love goes straight to the morning burn. And I'm telling you now, baby, one balina mukaku, foka no darling in a kukona mubudali. Negalina munyumba ya manyeja, na komene na misimali. Ah, your love is so original, so me say, walk it, talk it, talk it, talk it. Umutima kuwana banyaganda mi mane. Once I got that you kuna zimatiru woma. Kuna ni kunu sania. Wapunga mupunga gali ne matira. Wakuma mutesu we wange tena luka. What's it jump? Woman on the zimane. Kalina kamalani. Kulina simple one. Nayina mates. Sidina mutima kwensikeza. You're my one and only love. Masamba tenga gocha. Tisigale wetuti. Baby touch yourself in it. You are connected to me. Masamba tenga gocha. Tisigale wetuti. Baby touch yourself in it. You are connected to me. Teva, teva, teva. We bambuza, Johnny Johnny. Baby come on, 'cause it's such a catchy, yeah. The sun, Magama you're the groom, Magama you're my everything. When kunyum yako kesa, kesa. Amali mama nyimbe binti twakwamu. When mama says I cut him on you, I never wanna lose a real one like you. Kuno mkwano masabu kumasabu. Abali mama nyimbe binti twakwamu. Twama says I'm I never wanna lose a real one like you. Kuno mkwano masabu. Masama tenga kocha. Tisigale wetuti. Baby touch yourself in it. You are connected to me. Masama tenga kocha. Tisigale wetuti. Baby touch yourself in it. You are connected to me. I wanna know what you will see. We fight it, no, no, no. Take a good you buy, take a good sweet medication. Me a me no she the girl. What's it no musau? Unazo mkwano muzi, wakubu kuku sing about it. Someone say me come in. Before you sing it, before you sing it, I gotta, yeah, 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 sure. I'm in love with you. There's nothing I wouldn't do. Catch a bullet for you, as long as you want me to. I'm in love with you. There's nothing I wouldn't do. Catch a bullet for you, as long as you want me to. Pensi tani kama kochera, kuba kami kama tekera. Wami no vibe koko, kutoka mazambe. Picha twani zaman kochera, but I'm down and kochera. 'Cause I'm an addict for no go. 'Cause I just wanna let them know. You're the one I want to. Before my liver starts to bake, you're the one I live for. Before cassava starts to bake, you're the one I live for. And when the pond fell to be far away, far away. So I am looking for a sister. Show my love, oh. She got the door. She the way designer. I am looking for a sister. Show my love, oh. She got the door. She wear the designer. She give me a kawa tuchanyiza kuchusa kumani wa boka kumbete na kuwaka nyamula wena nyamabona mbadala nsefunye nyamula wambomobona ku atinsefunye nyamula wena nyamabona mbadala nsefunye nyamula wambomobona ku atinsefunye. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, once again.